from the collective, for the collective. Well, I guess it is from you too as well, because I'm channeling everybody. I just have to get my phone the right way. Is it just me or is this crooked? So just a disclaimer, I speak of everything that is multidimensional, that is spirit, that is consciousness, higher vibrational topics, higher vibrational capacity and aptitudes. We want to practice who we are, what we exist within, and it's all things in the ethers. It's who we truly are as spirit. And so these are things that you can't tangibly hold or touch or feel. And we talk about source creator God, the multidimensional God. So if that, I don't speak about Bible verses, and I don't speak about spirit and things. Spirit and religion are two separate things. I speak about everything spirit. And so we are raising our consciousness. And I speak about these things based on visions, many timelines. I think I'm harmonizing about 985 timelines right now. So close to 1,000 timelines that I have experience of. In this process of ascension, every human is responsible for 51% of their own karma. And this is why cults and covens will be seeing themselves disband, because you're responsible for your own karma. You're responsible for your own path with source. No one is meant to tell you what to do and how to do it. You're meant to go within and be your own highest guide, be your own highest mediator, and your own highest version of you with source. Your higher self is your cult and coven. So trust your higher self. Your higher self will never guide you astray. Your higher self would never guide you into the things that many people are experiencing karma now, because they were listening to the wrong advice. I'm going with misguidance and misinformation, a lot of wrong information out there. So it is very important that you're discerning. And so I'm just going to just get prepared, call in the teams. If you'd like to do this as well, it's a good practice for you as well, for practicing your gifts, your skills, and your talents, understanding that we are multi-vibrational beings. Let me grab my pictures. I don't know why they're way over there. We are multi-vibrational beings in fields, somewhere from 8 to 20 feet. The more soul fragments that you have integrated, the bigger your aura is going to be, the more magnetics that you have to work with. So every time you manifest and integrate your soul fragments, you manifest greater light and greater aura. And therefore, then your field gets bigger and you have more energy and more information to work with. And so if you wanted to tap into your gifts, your skills, your talents, where all things that exist within your fields, all things that exist within inside of you. Remember that your chakras are vibrational, multidimensional discs of information and wisdom. They're there to assist you in your healing. They're there to assist you in becoming your highest and your best. That's held within your divine soul blueprint. It is part of the design that you and the Father have designed since your very first incarnation, and why it is so important that only you and only you access your chakras. Only you and only you have decision making on your chakras, and this is why we are reclaiming our sovereignty. Nobody else has access. Nobody else should have access. Nobody else needs to have any information on you. Tell them to get out of your business when it comes time to anybody that's interested in your Akash, or anybody that talks about your life more than they talk about theirs. Be very discerning. They're spending far too much time on you than they should be on themselves. And of course, it's different for every situation. Obviously, you have a soulmate and you're meeting that soulmate, and those are the conversations that you have because they're interested in you. But be discerning about those that come from cults and covens. They sometimes ask you these things and they placate to pretend you be your friend and pretend to send lovers in, when all they're really doing is setting you up on a humiliation ritual or sabotaging you to get your work so that they can do something different with it. This is how things have been going. It's unfortunate that we have to be so challenged and non-trusting, but as you've seen in my my offering, I've done everything in my power to offer as much healing and unconditionality to people that have been doing nothing but harm and hate to me. And so it doesn't matter what you offer, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how many times God will show them truth of universal laws. Some people will just continue to be the poison in your craw. So you have to hold your boundaries, you have to state what's right for you, and take your time with people and relationships. They have to earn who you are. They have to earn your trust. They have to earn your sacred yoni, if you're a divine feminine, as well as women earning the sacred seed of the divine man, divine masculine. And you should always just want to take that time in those sacred relationships. You're here for, again, the most profound time that humanity has ever been offered. And everybody has to make that choice with Source Creator. The purity of your heart is how you choose to move forward. If it's not the purity of your heart, their alchemy won't be aligned, and you won't have connection with your higher self. The higher self only connects when you're pure of heart. So when you align with all that you are in the purity of your heart, your higher self tunes in. Your higher self is always listening. Your higher self never goes away. But if you want the alchemy and if you want the alignment with Source, you must do your heart space. And if you are cut off in your heart space, then you need to work on your chakras. And I always suggest, if you want to book a healing session with me, if you want to book a collaboration session with me, vocational alignment session, if you are a teacher and would like to set up something specific for you to be a better teacher. I've noticed in the collective, just saying, I've been talking to Spirit lately because I do give advice to Spirit for the collective guides, those of the guides that are on behalf of all the collective. I give advice as to certain things I'd like to see in the collective to amplify and to lift the collective up. And I have been seeing, as I've said before, I have been seeing a bit of a stagnancy in the online tarot and oracle community. There needs to be greater awareness to how we speak in card readings. There needs to be greater awareness in how you project the information from your readings. Understand that when you're reading and you have the energy there, it's better to often understand that, give an example. It's better to understand readings is that the energy that's in anything, these beings might not be in the direct reality that she's in, but they are there as unremoved energies from either another timeline that could be from another universe. They don't have to be in her reality. As everybody's been finding out, my ex and his coven, I'm not even living in the same province. I haven't been living in the same province for about 6.5 years. He does magic on me. So he's going to show up my energy will show up in his, even though I recoil my energy every day. He's showing up in mine. And maybe he is, as Spirit is still working, maybe there are some that are still guides. They want to be a guide. They want to help out wherever they can because they need to earn their karma back. So sometimes their energies will take on different experiences, different meanings, and sometimes they're just doing so much root work they want to bind to you. And because certain people are in certain mental states, depending on what their personality types are, I know his personality types. He's very obsessive OCD. So, and plus he's got introductory mental things that he needs to get looked at, and on and on and on. And why certain people choose rituals, because it's a repetitious experience. Everything that's repetitious they enjoy because it gives them more power, it gives them more control. And of course, control is only fear because they're not safe in their body, they're not safe in unfolding the natural essence of Source, just naturally unfold. Trust how Source is guiding you, but you don't trust Source is guiding because you don't trust in Source. And so, again, it's back for, anyways, everybody's given enough information, everybody got to go heal. So just remember, when you're tarot and you're getting the information, you can say certain things like you're not doing enough and you're not getting them out of your field and you're not. I've heard so many readers, like 3 or 4 readers, the good readers will say these beings are still in your field because they're still hanging on or there's something that they're doing. Assume that this person that you're reading for, assume that the collective is and has been already released. We know that you've released the person. Let them do their clearing and cleansing because it's not up to us to release the cords these people are creating. You have your cords that you release, and you release any cords, and you can just do simple manifestation before and at the end of every day. But when readers are reading and they see energy in the field, it's there because there's things that are still being cleansed and cleared off. They might get arrested. They might, be on in their next death cycle, their life cycle. It doesn't matter. But just because somebody is in the field doesn't mean that this person is doing anything to keep them in the field. But sometimes the comments that are coming from the readers are very, is projecting a lot of blame onto the person that has done absolutely nothing to bring these people into their field. I talk about these energies because these energies still need to be arrested. We don't have contact. I don't do any invitations. I do my clearing and cleansing. I send the energy back. Anytime they do magic, I send it back. I do my part. So most of the collective is not at the level that I'm at. I get that. But tarot readers and oracle readers should be very careful. And this is where I said, all of the tarot community, all of the spiritual community, they should be going through lists of how can I improve my reading? How can I improve my communication skills? They should be doing this themselves with their higher self. So again, if you're going to readers and if you're going to spiritual readers, always ask what they're doing to upgrade themselves and what are they doing to up-level themselves? Are they spending time in the community? Are they spending time, just go be homeless for a week? You would be surprised at how much you gain and how much you grow by just trusting source. By just trusting the information you get from Gaia. How can you forage for food? Can you forage for food? You can. So all of these things help you grow as a spiritual being. But I'm just saying, for those that read, be very careful about how you say the words that you say, because sometimes the people that are absolutely have nothing to do with the people that are abusing them. I was sold, I don't know how many times to the black web. That's not my fault. I didn't even know these people. So how you project the energy is, try not to be so blaming. I say what I say because these people are guilty. I'm going to keep calling them guilty because that's the higher spiritual court. They're guilty. They need to be arrested. There's many bodies and sacrifices that are behind certain people, and I want them arrested. Because the police are not doing their work. Obviously, if there's 6 being arrested, in the North American continent, then that's an issue. Just with one person, this is what's been pulled up. 6 police, just from one person like me. This has been 50 years of abuse. This isn't even talking about the ones that are statute of limitations. I could go back to my childhood if I wanted to. We're just talking just now in the last 8 to 10 years. This is just the information of the abuses and constant relentless sabotage. So when somebody is coming out of healing, I'm saying this because how oracles and how readers say and what their speech is can put somebody right back in another pattern of negative self-depression. We don't want that. There's very few people like me that's as healed as I am. So those that go to spiritual people for advice and guidance, speak to the collective as if they've already let it go. I trust that you've let them go. You're doing your work with your teams at the beginning and end of every day. Speak that life over the collective, not that it's your fault that they're still in your field. And the things that have been said by some of the readers, they need to check in with their guides and they need to say, how can I update my skills and my speech? Because you don't know the situation of those that really have done their work, that really don't have anything to do with these people. These people should not be even anywhere near me, but they are. Why are they? Because not everybody's situation is the same. Not everybody is at the level of a low 3D person that has still not done their healing and not done any of their work. I do the work. I'm the leader of the work. So again, just be very careful because you want people to come out of it saying, I've got the skills, I can do this. Encourage and empower that they're doing it well, instead of, it's your fault, they're still in your field. Like, what are you doing still hanging on to them? Why are you still going out with them? Why are you still sleeping with them? None of us are speak to the fact that, you've cut those cords off. You're no longer in a relationship. You're no longer sharing your life force. These are positive, empowering things. You can speak life over the direction you want. It's always pivot and turn. Speak in that way. Readers and tarot readers and aligned readers, speak in the way that you're pivoting the energy. Instead of, telling them that, you're still sleeping with them and all these things. Perhaps most of the collective isn't sleeping with them. So you have to understand when you're reading energy, understand that it's at many multi-dimensions. These people might be in the field for a specific reason, just to have closure. But it might not be. So again, when you're saying something, don't speak from it always from that one perspective, because there's many beings in the collective that have nothing to do with the people that have been attacking them. My name and my lineage and my bloodline comes from a very specific ancient timeline, and my energy, because I'm connected with the collective, my energy is with everybody. Right? I'm here to speak the collective messages. So that collective message, and again, it's all about certain readers need to challenge themselves to be better readers, because there's different levels of planes that the energies are coalescing with. Right? Some energies are not going to go through ascension, and some energies you have to truly rely on source and your teams to separate those soul contracts. You've done your job. You're not phoning them. You're not checking out their socials. You're not checking out their this. You're not checking. You've done your job. So you don't have to keep, you shouldn't, this is how I want to steer humanity, pivot humanity. You've done your job as far as releasing toxic people and environments. You've done that. And then let source creator do the rest of it, because you shouldn't be taking up your time to sit there half of your day clearing people that refuse to let you go. That's not your job. That's their job. So say to Spirit, I can't go on any further until these people are cleared out. You need to do it. Like, let's go, Spirit, clear it out. There might be another reason, and why I said again, talk with your teams once a month about the karma board meetings, and just touch base. Is there anything that I need to do? Is there anything that what you'd like to see me do so I can close out these cycles? This has to be dealt with, right? Spirit always has final say, because Spirit knows who you're connected with on other timelines and other realms and other planets, and it is very important that you two, close it out harmoniously. There's a reason. So just trust that. But you also have to state you're here to state you. You're here to be 100% advocate for you. And I've done many times, I've talked to the spirit teams and the karma board, and I've gone in front of the karma board many times to state my opinion, because there's no divine feminine impact and influence on the planet at my level. There's nobody that I look up to, so, and same with divine masculines. There's a lot of advanced divine masculines in the youth, and they have very few role models to look to. They see a lot of immature boys playing tantrums and power struggles with each other. There's very few divine masculines to actually look up to. And so it's very important that we do our healing, because there's generations, futures and futures and futures of generations that are relying on what the Creator Gods do in this time period. And how you send and receive information is very, very important. It affects the whole collective. So all of those that do read energy and play a part of being an energy healer and a teacher and a seer, be very aware and speak life over the collective. Speak life over those that are here to stay. Speak life over those that choose to move forward, and understand that not everybody is stuck in the same toxic cycle. I left the toxic cycle 6 years ago. They're the ones that send stalkers. They send spies. They send people to sabotage. They send the voodoo person that sits behind me in the coffee shop. I don't invite them in. I cleanse my field twice a day. These people are constantly bombarding me because there's still money that I've not received. There's still people that want to get to see and poke at me to see who I really am and if it's really me. And all of these things that are, it's exciting for people because I am who I am, and I'm now starting to take acceptance and honor it. I still have my rights for privacy though, because I am very sensitive with energy, and why I've asked for no pop-ups, because it does. This has been nothing but fight and flight my whole life. Voodoo and death attacks and sacrifices, and people that say they're your friend, but they're doing death wishes on you. So this has been a constant, unrelenting experience for me. And just to have respect for me to go through PayPal so that we can set up an appointment that is, workable for both of us, so that we can have the time with each other and not have something that's just spontaneous off the cuff. That's not respectful for people. I know that some people think it's a way that you can get in to energy, but it's not a respectful way, because again, you have to respect how that person operates within energy. The odd time you do run in people that you know, but most often than not, people that you know are not in your area. I know they're not in my area. I've left because I don't want those people in my area, right? I'm very purposeful on what I do, and not everybody needs to know what I do. It's none of anybody's business what my business is. I'm very forthright because I knew there was a lot of lies behind the scenes on about who I was, and nobody really knows me because nobody's ever with me. And nobody's ever been caring enough to know truly who I am without there being an agenda attached to it. And that's unfortunate, because I'm a very beautiful person. I mean, obviously, I have lots of heaven and celestial energy, and I'm going to be creating so much on this planet. It would have been nice to have, a really nice friend that understood, the arrays of difficulty that I've survived through. Nobody would have survived what I went through. I'm only here because of Source and my teams, and I will always give them beautiful blessings and credit for everything every day. They always come before everyone. They're always my marriage. And everybody knows that. I don't bow, and I don't belong to anybody. I belong to them, right? So that's why I'm very adamant about no cults and covens, and I'm not joining any groups. I will be a spokesperson for things that I believe in, and I will absolutely be very proud to work with beautiful companies that I want to work with, because I love their product, I love their style, I love the way that they They work with their craft. They're intentional with their craft. Those are the beings I want to work with. I want to work with people that want to assist in making a better humanity. And it comes through speaking life over our products, speaking life over our energy, and speaking life over Gaia, because she provides everything for us. It's very important we get that energetically. Everything is energy. So if we trust and respect energy first, then it will respond to us in kind, right? Everything is vibrational. We're vibrational beings, and it's coming back to us. It's all coming back to us. We have to understand that respect and honor in all that we do, it's returning to us. So now it's time for me to receive. And that doesn't mean that I'm being open to receive, and in the open being received, I have full say and I have full honor to say who gets what and how and who gets what. I'm going to be making very stern decisions. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what's happened. I know exactly who's done what behind the scenes. I know exactly what's been said in the very first conversation of what's been done and seen. So nobody can come at me and question me, oh, why didn't I get this? Or how can I do that? I mean, I've been with you since the beginning. No, you haven't. You haven't been with me. You haven't. Let's just make that very clear. Nobody's been with me. I'm going to make that very, very clear to everybody that stands before me. And you cannot manipulate me any further that you used to do. Because all of you are very good manipulators back in old world land. And you're only in the positions you are, and you're only standing because of God. God has given you one final chance to do what's right and repay me the money you stole, make right on the false accusations that you've said about me and the defamations that you've given the children and anybody else that you've said false things to, because it's my devotion to Source. I'm married with them. And that's why they're sticking up for me. And that's why they're going to shake everybody up over their heads. And they're going to hang everybody up by their toes if they have to. I will be restored. I didn't deserve what you all did to me. You all that have more money coming out of your yin yang, and I'm sitting on the cement. I'm only here to help humanity. I know I'm not taking any of this with me. I'm here for humanity. I don't have selfish goals. You know, I like styling and I like going out and having a wardrobe change. Absolutely. Getting my hair done once in a while. I don't get my nails done every day, obviously. So I'm asking for the collective. I know what I'm worth. I know I'm very precious on this planet, and I know I move energy more than anybody on the planet combined. I want what I'm owed. I'm worthy of it. And nobody from the past is going to stand before me and try and trick me and do their elusive, before they come into a session with me and come into a meeting with me because they know they're going to bump into me. No, you're not going to bump into me. I'm not giving you shit. No. Go learn. Go learn what you were supposed to learn when you were throwing 80 sacrifices at me. You know? It wasn't one or two times. They were dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds and thousands of really bad crimes. I'm only here because of God. All of you would be facing much, much worse karma. If anything did happen to me, God knows exactly what's happened and how many times you sacrificed me. Sacrificing me in spirit, just because my body doesn't leave and I'm renewed every night, it doesn't mean anything. You still sacrificed me in spirit. You still try and do the spiritual things. That's the highest spiritual laws. You're still breaking the high spiritual laws. I show up every day because God is putting me here before you every day. I still have my destiny to fulfill. I'm not going anywhere until my destiny, what I teach, Divine Soul's Blueprint, until what I teach is done. I still have things to do. You don't have any say about it, any of you. I don't give a crap how much you think you're fucking ranked. You're not. You ain't, obviously. So in your progression of who you are, whether you're just starting out and you've done a whole bunch of karma, you've done a whole bunch of crap because that's what you were taught and told, and you thought that cults and covens were the way to go, and you thought that black magic and sacrificing was the way to go. It's not, it never was, never will be. So now you have an opportunity to do right. Go to the authorities and say what you've seen. Tell who has been paying you and directing you to hurt people. These things are very wrong. It's very wrong for any type of leader or elite to direct collective people. It is very bad to direct collective people to go hurt people. These things are very wrong. They're morally very wrong. So anybody at the top, it doesn't matter who they are. I don't care who they are. They will go down. And this is why I've been placed in front of all of you, because my truth, I pierce the very top of the top, and it doesn't matter who they are at the top of the top and how much money they have. If they get in front of my truth, they have nothing but to change. Because I stand and I'm married with God, there is nothing higher. Your lack of truth and your lies won't stand a chance standing in front of me. You will crumble. The inside of you and your soul will be set right. Why? Because I reignite who you are. I see the soul of you, and the soul of you says enough games, enough is enough. I activate. I am the great awakener. I wake you up. That's why I'm placed before the most staunch. Because it doesn't matter what you say, I'm going to come back and say, really? Let's go around this again. Then what? You can play yourself around all your corners if you want, and you're still going to be in the same place. And then what? We can do it again. And so everybody's gone this really long route. All of you have seen. The last 3 years, we've said the same thing every day. Now karma is unfolding for everyone. And now everybody's seen exactly what I predicted. And now what? Now you've banged your head against the wall 8,000 times. You've done another 200 curses. You've done another 200 selling me into the underground. You've trafficked me another how many times? You've sacrificed me another 30 times. Now what? You just have a whole bunch of bad karma. You're going to have to clear your whole bunch of bad karma because it's sitting in your field, not mine. This is my field. My field is clears. Yours filled with a bunch of bad karma because I went back to you. That's karma, my friends. That's universal law. That's higher spiritual order, and I walk it and I run it and I speak it. I am it. And when you practice and when you do your path work, this is surety. I have my right to stand in my power. I've earned it. I've earned the right of my vibration. And I'm going to stand in it. I'm going to keep standing in it. I ain't going to silence. And God's going to keep placing me in front of people that need to see that reflection. And you will sit down and you will get that soul learning. I'm just here with the energy. I'm here with the energy. I'm here with the energy. That's truth. I have to be. I can't be weak. Truth is truth. It needs to be pierced because it's crap. Epstein conformity, that's crap. Luring children and lying to children and having them lie on stand, that's crap. That's just, there should not be any elites. There should not be any elites paying anybody to start damage and danger. Should not be happening. There should be no elites inciting danger to the collective. Whether it's a small group or coven, whether it's a mafia, whether it's no, that's wrong. That's weaponizing humanity. And you have a plan to back it up, and you've actually been premeditating it. And that's culpability in court, and I'll see you in the highest court. I will. I'll see you in the highest court. How dare you? You take a position of official standing, you take a position of official honor, and you've taken oaths on your position. You're paid by the people, and yet you go and incite danger to the people. You can't play both sides. I'm on you. And I'm going to channel names. I'm going to channel streets that you live on. So then the feds and the CIA that actually are doing their job and are being overseen by Archangel Michael and that have been getting the spiritual hits and knowledge to say that, yes, God is here and this is God's garden now. Are you going to wake up? The ones that are in order and are in their morals and are in integrity, they're going to be watching your house and it's not stalking me anymore. Because this is my garden. And God said, step aside. So now it's all unfolding. Now you all get to see. That's okay. But I'm saying it's time to level up, people. Whatever you're doing in the collective, level up. Talk to your higher self. How can I level up what I'm doing? I want to be the best version of me. 5D is not 3D. You need to level up your skills. Truth and clarity. Are you clear about who you are? When you stand in your truth and you speak your truth, is it from the heart space? Are you speaking for your spirit? No matter who's in front of you. Because remember, whoever's in front of you from old school is old school. They haven't been doing the work. Because if they were doing the work, God would be lifting them. God's not lifting them. The first will be last and the last will be first. It's happening right now. And we all have to level up. So book your sessions if you want a session, or find another vibrational healer, or do some research. Go look at books, self-actualization, self-enlightenment, and light body. Look these things up and do your own research and read good books. Read good books from the 70s, read good books from the 80s. Anything that is more modern, there can be many people that have just taken other people's information and just, doppelganged it. That's what they've been doing for me the last 5 or 6 years. They've been stealing all of my things, even though it's been copywritten, because they expected me to die. All of them were doing everything they were doing. Their 100% expectation was that I was going to die. So they were doing so much. That's why the more you pull out of these crimes, they're going to pull more and more crimes. Because their expectation and anticipation, nobody had survived what I went through. So they were doing whatever they wanted to. Copying, making extra accounts, selling my business and opening my business. And they were doing whatever they wanted to. They had none of them had any rights to touch my life on any level. They were assuming that at any point I would never wake up and I would either commit suicide or one of their sacrifices. I mean, they've got, 5 and 10 people working on me all the time. They were assuming that I would die. No, I'm not going to die. So now you're going to be caught on all your fucking crimes. One by one by one by one. Everything that you did in your stupid ass arrogance. And I'm asking you, you have to do your karma and you have to go through your lessons because you're going to ask yourself, why did I really do that? Did I really want to go to Epstein Earth? Was the money really worth it? Seriously? You're going to ruin being at the most important time of humanity's timeline and the whole multiverse is watching you. How is humanity going to come through this most profound time in all creation? All creation. Your soul will never have another experience. It will never have another challenge like this right now. And that's what you're going to have as your compass? Really? You're going to get involved with cult crime? Cult murder and cult this and cult that, we get paid. That's what that's your choice? The most important time of an entire planet, of a human race, of all the species are here right now for a 5D entry? And that's your choice? Hello? Hello? You're a multidimensional being. You have gifts and skills and talents. You have chakras with information from all timelines, all planets. You can receive and send information in infinite number of ways. It's going to help us invent things for healing diseases. Really? That's your compass. That's what you're going to choose? It's a dumbass cult move? Wake up, people. Get healthy. Love yourself. Your DNA hasn't even been activated. This is the most important thing. Your chakras and your DNA, people. I'm going to say it as straight as it needs to be said. These secret societies aren't anything. They're just ways to seem separate. No, I'm part of the whole. I'm part of the whole. I belong with the heavens. I'm a part of the whole. I'm not going to join nobody's cult or coven. I'll have co-creative contracts and we can work together, but I'm a part of the whole. I will always be a part of the whole. I will never separate myself from the whole because I care about my DNA. I care about the light in my chakras. And I'm going to be a part of bringing the countries together. So I would be absolutely playing both sides if I said this and I was joining a secret society and a secret cult. No, I've never agreed to that and everybody knows. So anything that's done out there, everybody knows it's beyond other people. It has nothing to do with me. Again, I've had nothing to do with this corruption. It has been them impaling themselves on me because they want a part of me. They want to bind themselves to me. So whatever timeline they come back in, they want to be a piece of me. And this is what they've done in other timelines. They have forced themselves through the ritual work, through the spell work, to come back and be a part of your life forcibly because they want to be taken care of. This is how these little evil mongers never get away and they never do any work. That's why they are exactly where they are. They've never done any work. They live off the backs of everybody. They're little harvesting leeches. They never do any of their own work. They don't go in and heal. They can't face themselves. They don't want to face themselves because they've done so much. They don't know how to face it. Well, you're going to have to face it now because these are actual fucking crimes. Over 17 federal crimes just on me. And I'm only here because of God. So that means thus then, there's a lot of stories for the collective, and we're going to put each one of them on the table, and we're going to source it out and suss it out. And everybody has to level up. Do your reflection work every day. Do your path work every day. Clear and cleanse your chakras every day. Ground every day. Talk with your teams every second, and only be guided by your higher self. It's everything that I teach. Okay, so everybody straight back. We're going to call in the teams. We're going to call in our higher self. We're going to open up our chakras and we're going to tune in for collective messages. That is the intention. Collective messages. If there's anything, Spirit, Mother, Father, God, Archangel Michael, that you would like me to assist with, Anubis and I will help and assist with any energies that are looking for connection back to source. You can write in your journals. You can practice as well with your teams. To receive any messages, opening up your third eye, receiving any messages there. You can practice in whatever way you want. You can ask a question if you'd like, where this will be healing. This is also healing because as you teach, you heal, and as you heal, you teach. I'm going to be tapping into any collective messages, practicing my gifts and skills, my ancestors. Grounding into the spiritual grids. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Take a deep breath in of crystalline white light. Bathing and cleansing my chakras. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Bathing and cleansing my body and my muscles and my tissues. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Please bathe me with the holy white light. My spine is nice and straight. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm calling in any counterparts that I have on any other planets and dimensions, the councils of light, systems of light, Star Council, Commander Ashtar, Mother, Father in the heavens, Divine Feminine goddesses, angelics, Lord Sananda Thoth, Ta'i she e te e si ananaka te ke she alai nama at te ke she hwai ananakata te ke she alai nanakata te ke anamakata te ka hwai ananakata te ke she alai namakata te ka te ke she ai la namakata te ka te ke she namakata te ka hwai ananakata te ka te ke she ala namakata te ka hwai ananakata te ka she ninakata te ka hwai ne te ke she namakata te ke lama kata te ke lai nanaka. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm open to take any questions, any information, any messages for the collective of the collective. The intention is for healing and activation, clearing and cleansing, assisting spirit in any way that I so wish. Thoth, Anubis, my ancient sisters, ancient goddesses, ancestors. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. A collective from Sirius. Thank you. They see that there's much on our planet going on. They would like to offer their help and support. They would also like to offer and help the support for those of you, as I've stated in previous messages. Sirius, there's a collective of beings that are ready and willing to work with any of you that would like to move along in your pathwork of working with the oceans, clearing and cleansing and having specific water education, higher intelligence about the water, higher opportunities of information of, that's interesting. I have to download the info and just, there, I don't have words for what I'm seeing. So it will be on-off world studies in the on-off world centers that I will be creating, where we will do on and off world learning and education. They're showing me a class that we are learning, and it's a multi-dimensional vision that I have right now of, I'm just seeing a bandwidth, and so that I assume that with dimension, and they're showing me the various species that are in the bandwidth, specifically oceanic species, but they are reduced in size, so it's like a small, it's like a petri dish, I guess, if you will, a little bit bigger. They're just giving me a tutorial. So they're saying that we're going to be learning the words that we have in English form are the species within species, where and what and how these species come about on planet Earth, how Sirius has been involved always in the nourishment and the fulfillment of Gaia and her destiny, her divine soul blueprint with regards to all of her nature. Obviously, she is a micro macro of us. So as certain parts of our body are going through ascension, there's things that are purged and things that are renewed. There's things that are purged, there's things that are enhanced. And so too is she. So this is where I've said earlier in my text is a far similar parallel is that I see the US and Canada coming together as one body to be the frontier of unity consciousness, to be the unity of how countries can work together, and it not being primarily in the agenda of selfishness, of oil and water, ways. And so this is going to be something that we will see from a new perspective, having unity consciousness as the forefront, because what you go into it with intention will determine how you come out with it. So again, we're going to begin for higher consciousness leadership and coming together in one way so that our planet can become more unified and showing the world and the rest of the countries that this is possible. Put down your borders and start behaving as one, because we are all in a playground that doesn't really belong to us. This is a playground that belongs to Gaia, and the higher consciousness that we have on this and the various teams and guides that we come as, being Gaia speakers and being biodiversity speakers and being biosphere speakers and being oceanic speakers and so on and so forth. There's infinite life within our Gaia consciousness. And you're going to be hearing more and more stories about nature speaking to you, nature's calling to you, nature's understanding for you, because there's many channels that are needed on your planet in regards to nature. She has a vibrational story time, and it goes directly with Gaia's divine soul blueprint, just as you are. You're all one body of consciousness, micro, macro, in reflection to each other. And in your long duration and your journey of time, in your journey of ascension, you're here to upgrade and level up who you are with the planet and understand, just as we have on our planet and any other ascending planet, that you are here to work together in co-creative harmony so that you can have these long-time games, these long games in assignment with each other. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Sirius. Thank you, Sirius. Thank you, Sirius. I love you. Thank you, Sirius. I love you. They'll be with you, so call upon them. Those of you that get excited about oceanic life, bringing clarity to oceanic life, making sure that we don't have the chemtrails going into the waters and into the farmlands and into all of the chemicals that are used, and the government's not thinking twice about it. This is what the government leaders must change. Understanding that Gaia is a living body, the chemicals you put in the air to so-called stave off global warming is you're not going about it the right way, and you're misunderstanding what's been said and done. You're misunderstanding Gaia's history on her temperatures. You haven't done your homework because you've never asked those people that actually know. Go back to Lee Carroll's work on temperature changes and the wobble. The leaders have not done their homework because they don't tap into those of us that actually channel and actually know. This is where companies and businesses can get great farther ahead and advancements. And it doesn't mean winning. It means, no, you want to be as informed as possible. So talk to the people that talk to higher consciousness. But you don't, because it's an ego thing. Because you want to seem like you're the one that knows, but you don't know. So now that you can know, come together and build bridges, people. It can be just that easy. And the North American continent will be the first one that shows the way. And it's going to be with agendas that align with the Divine Father's plan. Doesn't that make sense? Wouldn't it make sense if leaders came together and said, well, why don't we try the Divine Father's plan? Because now that we can put peace to different kinds of religions, how about we say, this planet is ascending. We obviously don't know what we're doing because we're not fifth dimensional yet. But how about we allow our higher brothers and sisters and the brethren from the skies that have been through ascension for 1 billion years, 1 billion. Why don't we ask them, and why don't we have them show us the way? And this is when you get out of the old boys school and say, no, you don't know what you're doing. You've done great harm to the countries. You've done great harm to planet Gaia. And you do need to know more. So do your 3 A's, alchemize it, sit down, and let others take their places because they've earned it. And if you have attitude and judgment, go to God. Go to your higher self. Things must change. We must evolve. Tai ishi itke light namakadake she light namakadake etike namakadaka ai tike she la namakadaka. Thank you, Sirius. So all of you that are excited to be Gaia speakers, to get connected with the oceans and have songs about the ocean, love about the ocean, information about the ocean animals, and the tutorials that they showed me, go to your teams in your higher self in your daily path work and ask such. There's many of you in the collective that are going to be channeling these specific areas for the advancement and for the evolution of your planet and how you can become more connected. Isn't that fun? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Any other messages? Keep track of the time. For some reason, I'm hearing Michael Jackson's song "Beat It." Beat it, beat it. At the very same time, there was a question that came in, what if somebody wants to sponsor somebody to come into something? And again, if you let go of this idea that separation is, that you're different, that you have something that's separate from the collective, then what is your agenda? You must look at this, all of you. And this is fine. These are great questions because you have to go there. If you have a community, if you have a society, if you have things in which you say that you are separate from everyone else, how truly are you then allowing yourself to be a unified leader? If you say that you belong to a secret society or cult that's separate from the collective, how can you say so? You're playing both sides. You're speaking of unity consciousness, but you say you have a secret society that's only information and only things can be held within you. No, this is a collective. We must move forward with transparency. I don't need a sponsorship. I have God. God is my sponsorship. Do you see what we were saying? It's a far higher evolution and mindset. We all belong with Source. You don't need a sponsor. I already belong. Right? It's changing your perspective, dear lighted ones. I don't need a sponsor. God's already shown that I belong to all. God's shown you all that. We don't need separate things to belong to. You belong to yourself. You belong to God. That is the highest oath. I don't need a sponsor. I'm already there. I'm 10 steps ahead. Why would I want a sponsor? That's putting power into somebody else's hand. They don't earn that right. They don't have that right. No, God is. Are you getting it? See, once you surrender that to God, then you have a whole bunch of space. You have a whole bunch of energy that is just opened up in your field. And what do you get with that energy? 100% unconditional trust. Because you trust that God knows what God is doing, don't you think? Right? I mean, God's the one that has the plans for all life. Don't you think that God knows and God's your sponsor? So you can just go to God for that? You're not responsible for carrying anybody. And sometimes that's the preconditioned assumption from these cults and covens, that once you say an oath that you got each other's back, well, so far all of you have seen, none of you have each other's back. Because when it really comes down to it and the crimes you've committed, you all absolutely, in clearing your soul, you have to be responsible for what you've done. Period and point blank. So does everybody else in the cult or coven. Therefore, thus then, when it comes down to it, and you are being questioned, are you really going to carry on with your oath? And if you do, how is that going to heal your soul? How is that going to heal anything you've done here on this side? Because you're still going to carry it forward in spirit. And you're still going to have to pay it off in the spirit land. That's why most of you play for me now. Doesn't matter whether you pass or not. Your spirits are now playing for me. And now you walk as my gardeners. And you clear the way before I get there. That's why I'm so protected, because so many of people that have passed on already owe me. And God sets that alignment. The karma board and the Akash do, the lineages do, because they want another chance at coming back and being a part of this very profound time. And so in your understanding of life, change your perspective on what you belong to and why. Who are you? What you exist within and what is existing within you. You are one with Source Creator God. There's nothing higher. Don't predicate yourself to something lower. You are not responsible to carry anybody. You are responsible for setting a good example and being a role model so that everybody else within the cult and coven can say, hey, I can do this too. I don't need to have a sponsor. No, because you all belong to each other. You're all family anyways. But you don't have to do binding work and sacrificial work and all of these things that are old school. It's not needed. Get rid of the web of chaos. Get rid of the web of confusion. It's lower vibrational information. You're not properly guided. And that means that you're just not given the highest information. You don't need somebody that says, I'm your sponsor, follow me. No, you don't. No, follow you. You and God know your answer. Then it lets you off the hook for being responsible for people you should have never had a responsibility to, because it's not your responsibility. It's their responsibility. You want them to level up as a soul. Everybody levels up. You're not the leader of any people. No, I'm going to specifically guide and offer information. I want all of you to level up in your own empowerment, in your own encouragement, and be the guide and God within you. You cannot call yourself a God if you're carrying people on your back. You're not going to carry them on your back. You're going to say, stand up, get up, put your cleats on. Do you see what we're saying? There's a difference. It's a perspective difference. It's a perspective shift. You're not in old school anymore. We want you in the new school, and it's everybody is sovereign. Reclaim your power. You don't need sponsors. And you can set the standard by saying, you don't even have to tell anybody that they're coming to your secret meeting. Just have the person show up. You're a divine brethren of mine. You're a soul star family of mine. You're part of this earth. You're welcome. That's when you start setting a new precedent. That's how you start pivoting to 5D. Because no, you're here because you're my brother. You're here because you forgave me. You're here because we're part of a star family together, and our missions are far greater than your cult or coven. Can you see that, dear lighted ones? If you say that you're leaders as you say you do, and that you truly want because you want to feel special and you want to feel like you're being of your highest and your best, and some of you do truly have that within your hearts, but you've been misguided in different ways, many different ways. You've lost sight of connection. You've lost sight of all that is the essence and the vibration of God. Outside of religion, because you're not religion, you're a spiritual being. And in these vibrations, you've let go of what truly is important, that you're all one. All of you are one. You tear away anything that you want to tear away, and at the bottom and at the core, all of you are one. Even the ones you don't get along with, you are still one. Anything you do to another, you're going to do to you. You're still one. And then when you strip away all of these superfluous things, you will come away with simplicity as spirit always does. And that's how you train yourself in trainment to be higher creator gods. At the core of it, you're all one. You're here to set boundaries on what feels good and what doesn't feel good in any moment, because you're a sender and a receiver of energy, of information. And it's up to you to design your path with God. What is right for me? Because not all of you are the same in sending and receiving information. Not all of you are the same in sending and receiving, giving information and giving and expressing information, because all of you have different experiences in all different timelines of being very highly telepathic, highly energetic, or highly psychic. So you have to practice and train these things. The more you separate yourself, the harder time you will have of being one. So state it every day, beginning and ending of everything. I am one. I am that I am. Namaste. The God in me sees the God in you. We're one. These things are vibrational in meaning. And things will flow to you. Why? Because you're automatically aligning. What is that? It's called an alignment shift. You are aligning with the highest universal laws, which is oneness. Because you're recombining back to source. Source is all things. Source is all universes. Source is all aspects of space and time and histories and planets and forms and bodies and cosmic aliens and cosmic celestials and angelics. God's all. So why separate it? Do you think God needs a sponsor? God doesn't need a sponsor, people. These are ways of the old world, and we must release it. Yes, you will have experiences in the on and off world stations through which you will have initiations. And those initiations are done by your elders, and they're done by the celestials and your higher self in alignment, I say with a caveat, in alignment with whatever your divine soul blueprint is. And that is going to be seen in such a way that looks like this and this only. You as a student of an on and off world station of academy or an academy of higher intelligence learning, you've been working with your chakras for several years. You go into one of your mentors, not a guru, a mentor. You go into one of your mentors that has been teaching you, you've been learning so much from this mentor, you've become a great co-creative partnership. And you say to your mentor, I think I'm ready for my next initiation. Is it okay if you guide me through with my other ancestors, and you can guide me through an initiation through which I'm going to tackle this and this? And your mentor assists you in becoming a part of maybe an academy of masters that teach about chakras. This is the only thing that you're going to see specialties and specialty areas branch off. Because you have to earn those initiations to say that, no, I've never abused my energy. I've been very calm when situations have tested me. I've been very studious. I've been doing everything that I've been doing because I'm such a love. I love teaching. I want to be a master. I want God to say that I'm a master. I want it to come from God and God only. That's the only reason why you go into specialty things, because you absolutely know, and your guides and your higher self are guiding you. Higher self, my higher self this week has guided me into saying and admitting that I'm now stepping into mastery of teaching and guiding. I'm stepping into my mastery skills now. I can now say that I'm a master. And in saying that, I also must step up. I also must evolve. And so I ask my teams, can you send me this? Can I master this? Can we do this initiation? But I'm just still new stepping into this phase. So I'm taking it slow and I'm appreciating, and God will lift me because I've chosen. When God says, are you ready to claim this? Can you claim it? And what does that have to do? Because you're reclaiming back your power through which eons and centuries that you've given it away. No, I'm ready for this. I am a master. Nobody can teach us what I teach. Nobody gets as excited as I get. I'm ready for the Spirit. So what do you got for me? I've got my cleats on. I've got my glove. I'm ready. And this is when Source says, perfect, child. I've wanted you to be this sure of yourself. Absolutely. I want to help people. I want to be just me in front of people. And if they're helped in it, fine. So be it. There's no expectation to anybody because it's not my job. I'm not here to force anybody to digest anything about energy. I just get excited about teaching. And I know that I've put in a whole lot of work. And then it's up to God and the ancestors, and it's up to God in the heavens, it's up to God in Lord Sinan, it's up to God in all the things that you belong with up there. And although there's not a lot of structure in that way, they will come to you and say, you've done so much work based on what you've been given. You've done so much work based on the challenges and the difficulties that you've gone through. This is why I say have a conversation with the Karma Board once a month. This is what I went through this month, Karma Board. These are the things I went up against. These are the things I transcended. These are the things I actually said and I did for myself. You got to have these conversations with Source that you say, this is how really difficult it is down here. Source knows, but Source wants you to stand up for yourself and the people. Source wants you to say, no, I fought for this. That's what you get to say about your dodecahedron. No, I've done the work and I'm going to fight for it. Our planet and our timelines and our countries can come together. It's about a big shift of perspective. You should be grateful that the arms and the guns and the weapons have been reducing in the countries. You should be happy about this. It shows that we're higher consciousness and we can move forward in keeping continuance of reducing arms war. You shouldn't be celebrating. You should be looking for how do we get more guns. No, you shouldn't be. You should be saying, no, we're higher consciousness. Let's do this. And you're not going to be popular in a lot of circles. Who cares? No, we're going to get out of old boys school. We're not going to keep running things the way we've run things. It's not intelligent, and it's not unified in unity consciousness. Therefore, thus then, it's not aligned with 5D. We must align with light. And if you say that with intention, everything will unfold so that every moment you're going to be given and challenged with how can you harmonize with light? What are you going to do to be greater light? What are you going to do to celebrate speaking life over people, speaking life over your own life? No, I'm going to reduce what I've got in my house. I don't need all these things. I'm going to reduce to a smaller place so I can have more free flow. I'm going to have greater income to play with. I don't really need this much space. I don't really need that. How can I give to others? You're going to make better light choices because you are one. You're one with your collective. You don't want to see your collective on the street. These are all things that each of you can do, and it's a part of leveling up. Moment for moment for moment, you're given a choice. Who are you? What really do you exist within, and what's going on within you? And what you thought you needed, you don't. You don't need sponsorships. You don't need to belong to anything. You belong with God. You belong with the heavens. You belong with the councils. They don't have ratings for you. They don't have gatekeepers. No, it's you and you alone, because only you and you alone know your blueprint with God. Nobody else has say on it. Why would they? They don't know you. As I keep stating to all of you, what I state is a perspective shift, because all of you belong to all of these different ideologies. No, I don't belong to anybody. It doesn't matter how many times you put my name on a piece of paper, you're not going to sell me back and forth. You don't own me. You have no say on me. Doesn't matter how much you think you're handling me. It's a no. You don't handle me. And God's going to make sure you have karma every single time you put my name on a piece of paper. If that's your intention, you're going to get karma. Because I don't buy into your story. I don't buy into your game. I don't play your game. That's why all of you have got karma that have done this. And you're going to keep getting karma until your karma is paid off with me. If you've done that 200 times, you're going to pay off your karma 200 times with me. Or however long Karma Board states that your soul is now free of what you have done to me. Because you have to understand the damages that you have done, not only to me, but to the collective. Why? Because I play for a collective voice. I am the collective voice. That's my job. I bring complex information and complex stories at a multidimensional level, and I bring it to as many levels of consciousness between 3 and 5D that I can. And I also speak on behalf of the collective that are above us, because they're here for us, as us. We are all one. And we will build bridges like it was supposed to in 1950 to our celestial friends and first contact. And we will have on and off-world study centers. We will have on and off-world landing stations. These are things in the vibration right now. And I'm aligning to every one of those timelines. You have to choose what timeline do you belong with. A higher vibrational arts and entertainment omnipresent field or an industry. You choose. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was fun. I have time for one more quick question. Does anybody have any questions I'd like to ask before we go? Someone's asking a really good question. This is a more an advanced question. Somebody's asking that when they're in their daily path work and they're advancing their consciousness, how do they take very airy-fairy thoughts and crystallize them? And so that's a very, very good question. So I suggest by doing path work in that, write them down, start drawing and writing. Many people use automatic drawing, and you'll see that if you just start automatic drawing, you'll see that something presents itself in your drawing. Then you get to crystallize what that energy is, but you can intend it. Say, I'm now taking this information that's in my field. I sense things that are in my field. I'm going to start automatic drawing it. And if you just automatically draw and just trust yourself, you'll see that something starts to manifest from that drawing. You'll get a hit. You'll get an intuition. Then you start building on that. Just as I said when my team started saying, draw it out, draw things out, get your pen to paper, get your pen to paper, get your pen to paper. I said, why? I don't know. But it's process from getting up here through you. You're processing it. You're actually, that's when I say processing. I'm processing what's coming here and I'm putting it out here. It's also integration at the same time because I'm integrating. It's in my field. I haven't done anything with it though. So the expression is so important. Expression means that I'm pulling it from here and I'm actually writing it out. I'm expressing it, right? And you can do it through cards, you can do it through paper. I use all of it because I've had so many different timelines doing many different things. I was a scribe in one timeline. I was somebody that worked in Egypt, and I used to work on papyrus. There's different things that we did in different timelines. Some people use the chisel and the metal, and they did glyphs and they did symbols. That's why some of you are going to awaken into many of these multidimensional communication things where we have higher vibrational intelligence that we never knew. So I would suggest the best way to do it, and how I know this is true and real and why I've written my books. I know this is true because when your teams are giving you downloads, it sits in your field until you access expression, because you're showing the universe, I want that download. I'm ready to work with it. Get in the elevator, push the button. God will meet you equal measure. You have to trust the process of you getting information that's vibrational, that's spiritual, that's downloaded by God's and your teams because you're connected to it all. It's just a vibrational connection. It's a really thin gossamer web, gossamer thin string, right? And it has to come from up. It has to come from out here in the ethers, and you have to bring it through you. That's why you are the vessel. You're a very sacred temple through which God's information lives through you. That's why I said I am a representation of the heavens. It actually means something. And when you speak like this and when you live like this, you actually know that, no, my voice does mean something. When I say I'm a representation, it actually means that. I represent the heavens. And some people say, well, isn't that just a word? And no, I actually do. I represent the heavens. I can give you heavenly things and information. And it means that I want you to be a better soul, a higher soul. I want to activate you. That's why Source puts me in front of people. I'm here to activate your awakening as also heavenly. We are one. So they have much higher meanings in what I say and how I say and what I say. And this is why I'll always say what I see. Right? Expression is your answer. Write it down, channel write, draw if you want to automatic draw. You'll see something take place. You'll see something come forward. Some people also go to the piano and they just start writing songs. So if that's your outlet for expression, musical instruments are a beautiful way. So there's many things that you can do. It's based on what's your highest excitement. Usually your highest excitement is going to be your highest answer, because that's also sewn automatically into your divine soul blueprint. And these are the things we talk about in my sessions. Good question. Great question. Masters already, hey? Good for you. Yay for you. All right, dear lighted ones, I have to go. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wishing everybody lots of great fun and love. I may or may not do a video today. It depends on how much time I have and how my energy is. I'm doing as much as I can to keep the energy flowing. Thank you so much for donations. That would be wonderful. If you book any sessions, everybody has to go through PayPal, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross, and I'm sending you love and light, and we'll see you soon. Namaste.